All right, there we go. We are live. I thought I'd start early since we already have so many people already in the chat making a great conversation. So welcome. And right off the bat, I want to say thank you. Comic Addiction, that's really nice of you. I always appreciate that. And he says, for the super chat, and I always read these if you send them, so thank you. It says, going to take my son out for some dinner. Father and son bonding time right now. That's always a good thing. Just want to show support. Much love from Comic Addiction. Always appreciate that, man. Very good to hear from you. I hope you guys have a great night out. Just be careful driving and make sure you get some ice cream for him at the end. So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, my name is Chris, and this is my channel. We love comics. And I got a bunch of unboxings I'm going to do for you today, several different topics. But before I do, I always make sure I give shout-outs to the people that get here early. So it's one of the few times where coming early is actually a good thing. So we got Big Will, of course, Comic Addiction, Chaos Lord, Doggy Lover. Great to see the regulars here. Let's see, Craig Wagner is here. The BPRD, who told me he used his coupon that he won the other month. So thank you for that. Glad that you were able to use that. Bob World here just in time, so you are not late. Let's see what we got. We got Batman Father Damien. Always good to see you, my good sir. Let's see. Rand for Tim. He says hello, so hello back. Bake the Snake. Good to see you. BG Corporation. My goodness, there's a lot of people here already. Mr. Coombs, never seen you before, I don't believe, but welcome. James Harvey, James Hardy. Retro Collected, Manny the Comic Collector. Christopher is here. John is here. Mr. Miracle. Hopefully we'll have some miracles tonight. So we got a lot of people, so I always make sure if you are here early, I will give a shout out because I want to make sure I show appreciation the best I can. Obviously, once I get the ball rolling with the camera on and everything and showing the unboxing, it's a little bit harder to respond. But as always, if somebody's kind enough to do the super chat, which you do not have to do, but if I see it, I automatically stop what I'm doing and I read it, because if somebody's gonna be kind enough to do something like that, I want to make sure I respond to it quickly and show my appreciation. So let's put the camera on. You'll have to forgive me, I look a little disheveled. I have an interesting situation. People were asking about how my Thanksgiving was. I actually was not able to do anything on Thanksgiving because for the 7th time in my life now, I almost died because I had walking pneumonia. And basically, on Wednesday night, around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, I went into the shower to try and get rid of my shivers and fever, and passed out on the bathroom floor for God knows how long, and came pretty close. So with me, if I get like a regular cold, I don't get colds very often, but when I do, it basically can kill me. So now going on the 7th time in my life, I have cheated death. So to me, it just makes me appreciate things. So many people on Thanksgiving were giving thanks to whatever they were. I definitely had a good reason to be giving thanks. So, with that being said, I got a auction win that I got that I want to give a shout out, and I'm going to do an unboxing. I have a fan letter, and if you ever want to send any fan mail, of course, there is, you know, no requirement, but if anybody wants to do this, you could pause it if you have to, but this is the address you send it to. Now, the one requirement, well, the 2 requirements I ask for is, 1, it has to have a return address, and it also has to have a tracking number. Because unfortunately, I do have some haters that, you know, for whatever reason, you know, I don't want information or bad things being sent because I do have a family. So I hope most of you will understand, but if it does not have a tracking number or return address, unfortunately, I will have to send it back because I have to be safe in this world. And like I said, most of you do not have a problem with that. So we're going to start first with this awesome envelope I got from a person that I always mispronounce their name, but I said to call him John. So John, whenever you watch this, thank you. And sent me a card. Star Wars, which used to be my favorite all-time movie of all time, but since they've gone the SJW route, I refuse to watch it anymore, but this is still kind. And he sends me a birthday card. So that was for my birthday. Yeah, I don't go to my office very often, so I will pick stuff up eventually. But he says, thank you for all the videos. You're helping a lot. Thank you. And he wrote, sorry, no tracking number. That's all right. On a card, I'm not worried about that. It's kind of hard to slip a bomb into an envelope, so we'll let that one slide. So to John, thank you very much for that birthday card. That was really kind. A couple of my family members forgot, so the fact that I got 2 cards from my subscribers is actually pretty darn awesome. So thank you for that. And again, if you want to mail anything, like especially, I'll tell you this, if you're an artist, especially if somebody who wants to get into the comic book community, trying to get into, you know, maybe working for a comic book place, if you send me original art and you want to promote your website or something like that, please include that, because if somebody's going to be kind enough to draw me something, and as you can see here, on top of my, the Star Trek thing, let me show you. The one person that sent me that original drawing, I placed on top there, so I will proudly display the items that are kind enough to be sent to me. So if you have original art or anything you want to send it, here is the address once again. Again, of course, it is not mandatory. No one has to do it, but if you do, please send me like any kind of link or website or anything, or if you have a YouTube channel, because I want to promote it. Because if somebody's going to do something kind, I want to return the favor. So thank you for that. All right, so the next thing we do is, this is an auction win on one of the YouTube auction sites. This is from, of course, I'm not going to say their last name, but this is from Alex, the Comic Hoarder. Now, I won this about a week ago, but again, like I said, I was deathly ill this week. So I didn't even DJ all week. So financially, I didn't do very good this week. But hey, you know, when you're still alive, that's all that matters. And I'll tell you, when you cannot breathe, it's not fun. So I would not wish that on my worst enemy. But it shows the power of my recovery. So that makes me happy about that. Because basically, I survived it on just drinking a lot of water, a lot of orange juice, couple of aspirins in my inhaler, and that was it. So I recover pretty quickly. So he, Alex, has a website, and I hope when you see this, Alex, good sir, that you did a great job of packaging. He's got those really super bubble wrap, and of course, taped to no end. You guys know how much I love that. But his site is the Alex the Comic Hoarder. When you see this, please make sure you post the link to your channel so people can subscribe or check it out if you want. Now, I don't know if he does auctions like on a regular basis, but it was the first time I checked it out, and I think I got a very good deal on this. So let me just remove all this tape, and I'll show you that. And then I have a couple of unboxings of some key books. So we got right here, this is part of it. And he puts up, and I always want to make sure I thank people, Christopher Donaldson from Canada. So thank you for your super chat. He says, thanks for all the great talk and videos, Chris. You are very welcome, and thank you for that. And thank you for having an awesome name. The name Chris is always a good choice. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. All the way viewing from Canada, our neighbors up north. All right, so he included a little note here. So I'm going to read this. He says, thank you, Chris. I really appreciate you, your friendship, and your support. Hope you have a blessed holiday, Alex. That's really kind. So Alex was kind enough to add this little note. And see, to me, little things like that mean the most. And Alex is a really good guy. Friendly guy, has a great comic book collection. He actually, at one point, and I don't know how or why he did it, and I'll give him credit for that, but he actually had an Amazing Fantasy 15. I think he either sold it or traded it or something. Lucky, I'm super jealous of that, but he's got an amazing collection. So check him out. So there are 2 parts to this, and he actually did cardboard separating both parts. So great job. And this is how you package stuff. So I'm going to show you these first. I paid a total of $113, which included the shipping and handling for these books. So the first one is Captain Marvel, issue number 1, which, of course, with the Captain Marvel movie coming out, this is definitely a great book to own. I already have like 2 or 3 copies, but I cannot complain. Then this one, again, I have a couple of copies of, but absolutely love this cover. This is the Mighty Thor 705. I think the artist is Art Germ. Please correct me if I am wrong. But that's part of it. Love that cover. Definitely a beautiful cover. And he was kind enough to put these in Mylar. This one I did not have. Absolutely love this cover. And again, I believe it's Art Germ. But this is The Life of Captain Marvel, issue number 1. This is the variant. Now, I never bought this one, so I don't know if this is just a regular variant or it's a 1 in 25 or anything like that. But yes, people are verifying it actually is Art Germ. That is such a great looking cover. She does look like, with her hair up like that, she does look like she got an electric shock and it doesn't seem to faze her much. But hey, you know, to each their own. But that is another beautiful cover. So basically the way the auction was, it was originally just for this item right here. But as the auction went up and up, he threw in extra comics. So he didn't have to do that. And that's really generous and kind that he did. But this was the reason why I bought it. I already have this book, but I don't believe I have it graded. But again, because of the fact of the Captain Marvel movie, this is Miss Marvel, issue number 1. This is the first print. And it's graded a CBCS 9.6. It says the origin of Kamala Khan. And Kamala Khan is transformed by the Terrigen Mist. I always hate when that happens. But for $113 for all 4 items, I cannot complain. And people are saying that they believe that is the 1 in 25 variant. So let me know what you think about that for $113, which 13 of it was shipping. So I technically won it for $100. So this was one of the books. This was the 3rd book. And I don't know if there's any major significance in this book, but it's absolutely for the cover. And then last but not least, the Captain Marvel issue number 1. So hopefully the movie will do well. I guess we will see. You know, I guess there are people out there that are kind of rooting for it to be the first failure. I don't worry about that stuff until it happens. I mean, people said that about Guardians of the Galaxy. People also said that about Ant-Man, and both of those turned out to be one amazing, which is Guardians of the Galaxy. And Ant-Man was pretty cute. It was good. It wasn't an all-time great, but definitely not a train wreck or a bad movie at all. So that's that. So let's get to the next part. And of course, make sure you stay until the end because, excuse me, I always do today's surprise subscriber shout out. So if you want one, be heard in the live section. And if anybody's kind enough to do a thumbs up, if you appreciate this, I always appreciate when people do that. But of course, it is not a requirement. But it does show that you enjoy my content. And that makes me feel good. And that's what it's all about. And like I said, considering on Wednesday night / Thursday, considering I almost died, it makes you appreciate things a little bit more. So let's show this first. I have 3 boxes I'm going to do, and guess what? You don't even have to choose them today. I'm going to do all 3. So they put some nice bubble wrap with the tape. And I'll show you this one, and we'll unbox all 3 of them, because I haven't had the chance to do a video in a little while. And people are saying they like the art, and I see avid collectors here. Welcome. BG Corporation, Stone 466, love the name. Autumn for Comics. Doggy Lover says, I'm glad you're still with us. Thank you, and me too. But I'll tell you, the one thing, like they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It was interesting, especially when my left arm was going numb a lot of times. I was getting a lot of pain in my heart. Because if you've ever had breathing problems and you have those inhalers, which, you know, there you go, just to prove it, you're only supposed to use... Hey! Cats are ganging up on each other. You're only supposed to use it like once or twice, but if you're about to die from not being able to breathe, you use it like 50 or 60 times, and it kind of makes your heart start racing. So it's kind of pick your poison. But it is what it is, but if you can survive something, then all happens for a reason. So I appreciate that kind word. So yeah, Rand says no slippers. So there will be no slippers today because you guys don't have to pick. I'm actually going to do all 3 for you. Thought I'd be nice about that. Oh, and speaking of which, The contest doesn't look like the video is going to get up to 1,000 views, which, I mean, I can understand. I guess a poster is not exactly the most desirable of things, but it's close to around 94, 95 likes. Once it gets to 100 likes, I will pick the winner. So let me actually show you the posters, because the winner of that video, the winner of it will get a choice of the posters. So let me get those really quick. And these were actually given to me by one of my awesome subscribers. So if anybody wants to donate anything for a giveaway, just let me know specifically. And again, if you have a link to anything, let me know. So before I show the comics, I'll show you the choice of whatever poster you want. So there's like male and female. Like, for example, I mean, of course, you know, you could be a male that loves Wonder Woman, so I don't want to assume. But here's one of the first posters. This is Wonder Woman. This is a smaller size poster. But the winner will receive the poster of their choice. So I figured, you know what, might as well show them. So I'll do that here. So you do have to be a subscriber. You do have to like and share the video. All right, so there's 2 of these. So obviously there will be one for a future time. You do have to like the video. You have to be subscribed. You have to share. And I'll randomly pick one of the people that leave the message in the comment section. So those are a little bit smaller, but this is one of the rest of these are like really large size, like almost like movie theater sized. So I haven't even opened these yet. All right, so this one is called Extreme Sacrifice. This is Youngblood. So any of you that have like a 90s little kick or love, well, it's supposed to be Rob Liefeld, but this says it's drawn by Chap Yape. I don't know who that is, but it definitely looks like he's influenced by Rob Liefeld. So that could be one that you can choose. The video was made a couple of days ago. Like, it was only my second to last video. So just look and you'll see the contest. It'll say it. All right, so this is the same thing, only upside down. So it looks like there's 2 of the same poster. So there's still a couple more. Like, he might have sent 2 of each. But again, I don't know, so we'll find out together. So this one, let's see what this one is. This is another larger size. This is for the DC fans. A little Justice League America. So again, I should put it in the camera so you can actually see. So we got Hawkman center stage. Very nice looking poster. So if you like Justice League, I'm assuming this is going to be the same thing. Let's see, because if it is, I don't want to just show the same thing. Nope, it's not. I stand corrected. All right, so this is another one of the larger size posters, but this is again for the DC fans. Here is a 90s version of Superman. You can see with the long hair. So if you're a Superman fan, you could choose that one. And of course, you could be anywhere around the world. I will pay for the shipping and handling, so I will mail it directly to you regardless of where you live. All right, so this one, let's see what this is. Another large size. This is upside down. Or is it? Okay. This is from Vertigo. This is Sound Off. I've never heard of this one, so I don't know if somebody will actually choose this, but if you like Vertigo comics, that could be a poster you pick. And I see Big Will, you were kind enough to do a super chat, so I want to acknowledge that really quick. And he writes, and if you do send a super chat, leave a little note, because I want to read it for you. Says, never sent you a super chat, so put this one to the Staying Alive Fund. I like that fund, and I will definitely do my best. I always kid around with my wife all the time. I said, you're definitely not getting rid of me that easily. So she seems to be very happy about that. Or she's trying to poison me. Who knows? And if she is, she's doing a bad job. All right, so this is also the one I showed before with the Justice League. So there's 2 of those. All right, so let's see this one. I think this is also a Superman. So it looks like there's 2 of each poster. Oh, no. All right, so again, I stand corrected. This is a very nice large-size poster of Wonder Woman. Again, it's kind of got a 90s feel to it. So if you have like a daughter or a son that likes Wonder Woman, or you like it, you could choose that one as well. And there are 2 more. We'll see what those are. Okay, so this one, for any of the people, and I have not seen the new Predator movie, but this is a Aliens versus Predator. It almost got like a Simon Bisley kind of look to it, but this is by Glenn Fabry, 1997. So that's a cool looking poster if you like the Predator series. And there's one more, and again, I'll still do the unboxings. I'll show you the one, and of course, I always mention the prices, and people always appreciate that. So this way you can kind of get a general idea of what's out there. Alright, so last but not least, there we go. Alright, so we have one more Superman. So this is the same one before. So now you have the scene which posters you can choose from. Again, I will mail them all around the world, so one lucky subscriber will win one of those posters, courtesy of my awesome subscribers that donated those. So thank you for that. I'll throw in a comic if it's something that's if the winner is in the continental U.S. I'll throw in a comic, because otherwise overseas just gets pretty expensive. So excuse me a second. All right, so number one unboxed we have, and I'll get a bunch of these, especially because you can get these pretty cheap these days. This is Tales of Suspense, issue number 115, which is the origin of Doctor Strange and the second appearance of Sandman. So who knows if the Sandman will appear in any Spider-Man movie. I mean, there are rumors of the Sinister Six, and it's my recollection that he was part of that. Whether they use him or not, who knows? And even if he wasn't part of the original Sinister Six, doesn't mean they can't use him. I mean, look at Guardians of the Galaxy. They only used one of the original members, and he technically in the first movie wasn't even part of the gang. So that is not a bad-looking comic. I mean, I would probably say this is easily a 5.0, if not more. If you could see, there's not a lot of ticks along the spine. And there's a few here and there. It's going to be hard to see on this camera. But overall, presents pretty well with shipping and handling, because I always include shipping and handling. I paid $134.64 for that. So I'd say this is probably at least a 5.0, maybe a 6.0. But a lot of that came from the shipping and handling cost, because this came from Canada. So it cost me $20 just including shipping. So it was $134.64, which includes the $20 shipping. But still, not bad at all. All right, so let's get to the next one. I think I've done this one on a couple of the episodes of the Key or Dud. So we might as well give this one its chance. And we'll unbox it. And I will be doing more of the Key or Dud issues. Even though, believe it or not, they're not really that popular. They're actually my least viewed videos. But that's alright. I do things not because of the views. I do them because I enjoy them. And I really love enjoying doing those Key or Dud issues, especially when I can convince you guys to pick the duds. So I get you pretty good a lot of times, so for me it's actually kind of fun. And I think people enjoy it to see, you know, what weird thing is going to be unveiled today. So I will absolutely keep doing them regardless that they don't get a lot of views. But hopefully you'll view them if you haven't. Give them a chance. And maybe share it with a bunch of people to get it out there. Alright, so they put this in a larger sized bag and board. Alright, so they included also a comic book, which is good because I didn't know what this was at first. They said this is a fun pack, and I was like, this is definitely not the book that I ordered, so this is a nice little throw-in. So let me take this out so I can see what it is. I'm having a... Alright, so this is Rex Mundi number 13. I've never heard of this before. So that is a very interesting throw-in. And you can always tell when somebody owns a dog. Always love that. So that was very nice of them. I mean, for me, it's the thought that counts. But that's definitely not on my top list of books to acquire. Especially when I've never heard of it before. Alright, so... here is the book. Of course, I will have to go through it, but this looks actually pretty darn good. Again, this looks like this could easily be a 5.5 to a 6.0. Sticker is not on the comic. It's on the bag. But this is Amazing Spider-Man number 46. First appearance of the Shocker. Now, of course, they've already used him in the first movie. Who knows what they'll do again. But still, I mean, when you're talking the first 100 issues of Amazing Spider-Man, you cannot go wrong. But this looks pretty darn good. And I'll show you because they actually left a receipt in. So let's cover a couple of things. So I don't want to give out their address to the world. And I'll show you the price. So I paid a total of $53.06. See if it'll focus in. There we go. $53.06 for the first appearance of the Shocker in a pretty darn high grade. I would say, like I said, this is probably, if I get it graded, be a 6.0. So for that price, I cannot go wrong. I will change the bag and board, but I will check it to make sure everything is in there. But not bad at all. All right, so we got one more to go, and then I will do today's surprise subscriber shout-out. I saved the best for last. This is definitely a mega key issue. And speaking of which, it's actually funny. The other day, if you haven't seen it, and I'll just tell you what it is if you don't want to go watch the video, but I showed that I got my second Avengers #1, which had half the cover removed. And there were a couple of people said, oh, I don't understand. I would never get that. The one thing I love about that is when somebody says they won't get something, that means that's one less person I have to worry about bidding on the book, so I don't have to spend more money. So I spent about $520 some odd dollars, or $510 or something for Avengers #1. Now, if you look up the value of Avengers #1 at a 0.5, it's worth about $700. With about half the front cover missing, the book is worth, it's probably at least a 1.0, if not a 1.5. And a 1.5 is almost $900. So to me, I look at it like, for example, with my cats. My cats were strays. Two of them got as kittens, and the third one, Luna, she literally walked into our house just one day during a snowstorm. And she needed to get some of her teeth removed because they were all rotted. Somebody abandoned her. But she was a little raggedy. She was older. She was almost dead because she was starving to death. It was in the middle of a blizzard. But I'd be like, you know what? She needed as much love as my cute little kittens. Or, you know, somebody buying a thoroughbred. So to me, I look at comics like, almost like if you ever see the Christmas special with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and they go to the island of misfit toys, and they find a home for all those toys. To me, like a comic, a lower grade needs just as much love as a higher grade. So for me, I don't have a problem with having a lower grade book, especially if I think it's a good deal. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean somebody else is going to think it's a good deal, but I look at it this way. I did not buy it for them. Now, of course, I get my usual 7 to 10 thumbs down on every video. If somebody wants to hate at me because of the fact that I have a difference of opinion, I mean, that's just a weak argument. But my thing is, collect what you collect and love what you love. And don't care about what other people's opinions are. And just keep it at that, because that's all it is their opinion. So for me, I now own 2 Avengers #1. One of them is a restored copy, which I was not aware of when I bought it. And this one's probably a 1.5. But I own it, and I can say I have an Avengers #1. I have 2 of them. So there are going to be plenty of people that are going to be, oh, I only get high grade, and that's fine. But if you can only afford a lower grade, be happy with it. Because believe it or not, if you actually do research, if you're a person that buys and sells comics, which I buy them but I don't sell them, you actually will make more profit off of lower grade books, percentage-wise, than you will higher grade books. It's actually shown. Because a lot of times people will avoid the lower grades, keeping the costs low. And when costs are low, you have a quicker turnaround, especially if a book becomes very popular. So let's show the last book. And the funny part is, this person put a price tag on it of $900. Now, I didn't come anywhere close to spending $900 on this book. I hope they didn't spend $900 because considering the price I paid for it, they will be very disappointed. But this is Detective Comics issue number 298, which is the first Silver Age appearance of Clayface, which I've loved this comic. I've wanted this for a while because I mainly collect Marvel, but I don't hate DC. Especially their key issues. I mean, they're very iconic. It's just harder to get a lot of DCs because, one, they're expensive, and two, a lot of them are very old. I mean, you're talking about Batman, Superman, Flash, all of them came from the 30s and 40s. So it's not easy to acquire them. But this, as you could see with the 12 cent, this probably came out in the early to mid 60s. Now, as you could see here, they paid $900. They either paid that or was trying to sell it for $900. Now, before I give the price, we have a question here that I see. Batman Father Damien says, quick question. I have Golden Age books that are returned copies with the top half of the cover torn off. What is the highest grade those books can get? I can tell you right now, I think it cannot get higher than a 1.8. It depends on how much of the cover is removed. Let's see really quick. So that's a very good question. It's hard to give a specific grade without actually seeing the book. But what I do is I go by the comic book price guide from CBCS. So let's see. Let's go to a 3.0 to a 1.8. Let's see if they say anything. All right. Let's see, books in this grade increased. Okay, so from a 3.0 to a 1.8, large pieces can be missing from the cover. Let's see, but it doesn't say what is considered a large piece. If you're getting a quarter of it, it may not be that. So we would probably go down to a 1.5 to a 1.0. Let's see that. Let's see what it says. Parts of the front cover may be missing. Okay. So, from what I see, and again, without actually seeing the comic and how much is actually taken off, the highest grade that could get is probably a 1.5. So, the same thing with my Avengers #1, it's going to be a 1.0 to a 1.5. I paid less than a 0.5. And that's why sometimes I'm a little bit, I mean, I know, and I'll say it, and I always get heat for this, but I don't care. It's my opinion. CGC, which is the #1 grading company, I'm not going to lie about that, I tend to see all the time that they totally undergrade lower books. Because I saw somebody that had about, like you said, 1/3 of the top of the book ripped off, and CGC called that a 0.5. Now, obviously, without the graders notes, I wouldn't know all the other stuff, but it seemed like everything else looked pretty nice. That's not a 0.5. I mean, it would have to be completely coverless to be a 0.5 or less, depending on the grading company, because there are grades of 0.3 by CBCS and even a 0.1. So CGC doesn't go lower than a 0.5. But I would say that there are times where if you have lower grades, that CGC might not be the best place to send your books because they will undergrade them. Because I guarantee you, if I sent my Avengers #1 to CGC, it'd probably come back a 0.5. But if you actually look up, and you can go to cbscomics.com/grades, and they give you their assessment. And I use theirs because CBCS, everybody will admit, and they say it all the time on videos, that they are the strictest when it comes to grading. So I use their details of what they consider a grade to be. So a 1.5 to a 1.0, parts of the front cover may be missing. It can have extensive amounts of soiling, extensive amounts of tape are acceptable. Let's see, staples may be missing. The spine and or cover may be completely split. I mean, for a 0.5, it's basically a garbage cover. Like, for example, CBCS will say a 0.3 to a 0.1 is a coverless book. So they won't even put a coverless book at a 0.5. They'll put it at a 0.3. So, I mean, these are things you got to check out yourself. Unfortunately, a lot of people just go with what they're told instead of doing their own research. But anyway, let's get back to this. And I want to thank everybody for watching. So this was the last book. I definitely did not spend $900 on this book. This is the first Silver Age appearance of Clayface. Now, the funny part is, on the back here, and I'm sure they didn't pay this either, it says $4.25. I can guarantee you they didn't pay that, so obviously that was on the original bag and board when they put it in. So with shipping and handling, I only paid $131.25 for this book. So I think that is an amazing deal. So let me go over all the comics that I showed just in case if you are coming in late. And Stone466 says, I don't agree. I'm not sure what you're not agreeing to, but that's okay. That's a beautiful thing. People are allowed to agree or disagree. An opinion is just that, an opinion. So here's the 4 books that I won from Alex the Comic Hoarder. And again, he has a comic book website. He does live auctions. I don't know how often, but this was for a total of $113 for these 4 books. So that was Captain Marvel #1 first print. The Mighty Thor 705 with the art germ cover. I love this cover. The Life of Captain Marvel issue #1. Again, the art germ cover. Somebody said this might be a 1 in 25 variant, but I'm not sure about that. I will have to verify. And the Miss Marvel #1 at a 9.6 from CBCS. And of course, again, first print, you could tell because of the red. I think second print tended to be blue. So that was $113 for those 4. So you'll have to let me know in the comment section if you thought that was a good deal. All right. So then I got the Strange Tales 115, which is the origin of Doctor Strange. And the, trying to find the price that I paid for it. The second appearance of of Sandman. I paid a total of $134.64. That's with $20 shipping and handling from Canada. Then, Amazing Spider-Man #46, which looks anywhere from a 5.0 to a 6.0. Could be a 6.5. Again, I'll have to check it out, but this is a beautiful looking book. Now, here, that's not a bend or anything. That's just part of the plastic, because I checked that when I saw it. But I only paid $53.06 for this book. I'll get this one all the time. To me, anything from issue 100 down of Amazing Spider-Man are definitely books to get. I mean, especially when you're talking first appearances, you know, like the first Vulture, the first Rhino, the first Scorpion. No, those are books to definitely get. And then last but not least, even though it says $900, I did not pay that. This is Detective Comics 298. Is it 298? Yes, it is. First Silver Age appearance of Clayface. I paid a total of $131.25 for this book. So, those are the comics. I hope you appreciated this. Stick around. I will do the surprise subscriber shout-out. Oh, and also, one of the people, one of my subscribers was kind enough to send me a birthday card. So, thank you again to John. I always butcher his name, his YouTube name. But again, if you ever want to send anything, especially if you do original art, I would love that. This is where you could send it to. And again, please make sure it has a return address and a tracking number. And thank you for the birthday wishes. I turned 48, which I probably look at today. So let's do today's surprise subscriber shout out. And I hope you will all be kind enough to give this a thumbs up, because I always appreciate the love and the support. So let's see who's going to get it today. I'm going to pick somebody that I haven't picked before. We got Marcos Big Droops 13. Just because of that name alone, I absolutely love that. He says, got some nice DK 111 on Black Friday for $1. You definitely cannot go wrong for $1. So congratulations on that. Hopefully you guys are still getting your Christmas shopping done for all your friends, family, and loved ones. I want to also give a big shout out again to Big Will and Comic Book Addiction, Christopher Donaldson, for those super chats. Always appreciate the kindness. It's never expected, but definitely appreciated. Got a lot of people communicating here. Everybody seems to be very positive. Even though I don't respond to everything, because I don't think everybody would want to just have me read off names all night. But I promise you, I read these all. And when this processes, I hope you will do a nice comment at the end. And thank you very much. I hope you appreciated that little shout out. I appreciate you guys visiting. I mean, an average of over 50 people watching on a last minute video that I decided about an hour ago to do means a lot to me. So I'm going to keep getting better, recovering a little bit. I might seem a little stuffed out. If you don't know what this is all about, you can watch. I talked about it earlier. I don't want to keep harping on it. And don't forget, it's not you, it's not I, it's We Love Comics. Thank you so much for being a part of this live show. Always appreciate it. Source Pro says, have a great week. You too, and the same to all of you. Thank you so much. Have a great night, and I'll see you soon. Peace out, everybody.